Let's start the configuration, guys. So after the last class, we discussed about the configuration that is related to the networking concepts. Today, we will be diving into the concepts called as VPC configuration. For last class, we discussed about the in the last class, we discussed about the subnetting concepts and all the things. Today, we have to discuss about the AWS infra and AWS VPC configuration related things. Let us go back and discuss about the AWS configuration related things. Just give me a second. Just 2 minutes. If any another person joins, we can continue with that. Now the time is 9:38. We will wait for 2 minutes and start the class. Okay, let's start. If anybody comes, they will join. So in the last class, we discussed about the networking concepts. Among that, how to divide a very big network into small network. Now, first of all, here we will discuss about AWS global infra, and then we will be going further into the next configurations. So first of all, what is meant by AWS global infrastructure? Now, if you see here, whenever we are deploying any AWS servers, so first of all, the AWS servers must be deployed where our physical wherever our sorry, just a second. Where is my virtual machines are deploying? So whatever the virtual machines that are deploying in the AWS account, so whatever the servers that we are deploying, all these servers will be virtual servers only. These virtual servers are deployed in the physical machines. For example, if you see here I'm having a virtual machine. It's a terminated one, but anyways, I just want to show you. These are all the servers that has been deployed in the Amazon, and these are all the virtual machines. So what is meant by virtualization? So if you see here, now I am accessing my Windows server. If you see here, this is my Windows machine which I am accessing. And inside the Windows machine, what I can do here is I can run my Red Hat Linux also. So which means that I am running multiple servers in a single machine. So that is called as multiple virtual machines, multiple imaginary machines in a single physical machine. This is called as my virtualization concept. Now what I am going to do here is, now let me go back. So here the main concept is virtualization. Okay, that is well and good. Just imagine where the servers are going to be created. So the servers has to be created inside what the virtual servers, whatever the virtual servers that are present here in the console. All these virtual servers has to be created inside a physical server. Just for example, I am giving like this. Let us go back from branches to the root. So let me go back here. So this is a virtual machine which we have created in my AWS management console. Okay, so like this is the virtual machine which we have created, for example. And this virtual machine, not only a single virtual machine, we can create multiple virtual machines. So I'm going to create multiple virtual machines in the AWS console. This is another virtual machine. This is another virtual machine, and we can create multiple virtual machines. where all these virtual machines are getting created. All the virtual machines are created inside a physical server. For example, this is the server which is a physical server. So this is the physical server in which all the virtual machines are getting created, like my normal hardware server. Okay. Inside this hardware server, I am going to create my virtual machines. Now, where the servers are created, these physical servers are created, or else these physicals are present inside a rack. So this is a physical server, and then I can have one more physical server, and like that I can have multiple physical servers. All these physical servers are created inside a rack. So this is a rack which I am having all the physical servers. Yes, I have mentioned only two physical servers, but in the data center, you can have multiple physical servers inside a rack. So this is the server rack. And there will be so many number of racks like this. Same identical racks will be there in all over the data center. For example, this is a rack server. And there will be another rack like this. And there will be another rack. And there will be another rack. Like this, I am going to have multiple racks inside my data center. For example, these are all the racks that are present inside my data center. This is the data center. This is the data center where you can have multiple racks. Okay. This is the data center where you can have the multiple racks. Inside the racks, you will have the servers, physical servers. Inside the physical servers, you can have the virtual servers. So this is how your data center architecture will be looking like. And one physical server will be in communication with the another physical server. One physical server will communicate with the another physical server. There will be a networking cable. There will be cabling connection from one rack to the another rack, from one physical server to the another physical server. You will have the connectivity. So I will go like this. So this is how your network is going to be connected with each other. So that what happens, each and every server will have in contact with the another server inside the data center. Okay. Now this data center is a facility. It is also known as availability zone. So the data center, if at all, if I am having a single data center or else multiple data centers, so all these will comes under an availability zone. So a data center is a facility, or else we can call it as an availability zone. If these availability zones are there, for example, like this. So this is the data center. If you see here, this is how the data center architecture will be looking like. Inside a data center, you will have multiple racks. Inside the racks, you will have multiple physical servers. Inside the physical servers, you will have the virtual machines. In the same manner, this is how your data center will be looking like. Okay. Now, if I go back here, if you see here, this is US East 1. This is a region. Inside the region, we will have the multiple availability zones. And each zone can have a single data center or multiple data centers. And each and every data center will have the communication. So if you see the hierarchy, there will be a region. Region is nothing but a geographical location where multiple data centers are located. Again, I am saying region is a geographical location where multiple data centers are located. Now, if you go to the availability zone is a facility that is nothing but a data center which will have the servers, networking routers, firewalls, everything will be there inside the availability zone. And you must have two or more availability zones. You should not have a single availability zone in a region. You can have multiple availability zone in the region. Likewise, I am having multiple availability zones in this region. So inside the availability zone, again, you will have a data center, and inside the data center, this is how your servers will be created. So this is the global infra of your AWS. So Amazon Web Services, this is the global infra. Now, overall, there are 30 regions all around the world, and inside the 30 regions, you are having 87 availability zones, and there are so many data centers that are available all around the world for the Amazon Web Services. Now, what can I do right now? So this is about your data center or AWS Global Infra. Let me go back. AWS Global Infrastructure. Now, if you see here, we have a clear-cut definition for that. I hope that we have already seen this. Now, if I go to the availability zone is a facility that can be somewhere in a country or in a city. Inside this facility, that is data center, we can have multiple servers, switches, and load balancers. Now, what is a region? A region is a geographical area, each region consisting of 2 or more availability zones. So this is about your region and availability zones. There are somewhere like edge locations also. We'll discuss that in the later on part. But as of now, this is about your configuration. Okay, this is well and good. Now let me go back to my configuration that is related to the VPC. So now we have to configure the VPC configuration. The name itself indicates that VPC. VPC means virtual private cloud. So what is meant by a private cloud? Can anybody say what is meant by private cloud? What is meant by private cloud? Anybody say what is meant by private cloud? Waiting for your reply, guys. What is meant by private cloud? Which can be accessible for a particular user or else particular organization. Then that is called as a virtual. That is called as a private cloud. If at all, if there are some hundreds and hundreds of servers are there. Okay. Suppose, for example, this is an organization. Okay, this is my Swiggy organization. Swiggy is a food delivery app, or else it's a company where there will be an organization. Inside this organization, we will have so many servers. This is one server, and we will have like this. We are going to have multiple servers, and these servers belongs to only that Swiggy organization only. Now, when they want to migrate to the cloud, Swiggy wants to migrate to the cloud, they will come to the cloud service provider and they will ask for the servers. So now, whenever they are arriving, they are approaching any cloud, public cloud. Whenever they are approaching any public cloud, in the same manner, there is one more food delivery app that is called as Zomato. Just for your understanding, I'm saying there is another app called as Zomato is also there, and they want their servers to be deployed in the same public cloud. If the Zomato servers has to be deployed in the same public cloud like Amazon or else Azure, so what I have to do? So here, this is the cloud. Now, so Swiggy is approaching the Amazon, and as well as your Zomato is also approaching the Amazon itself. Swiggy is approaching the Amazon, and as well as Zomato is also approaching the Amazon itself to deploy their clouds. So what I have to do now? So if you want to deploy, both of the rivalry companies, and they are going to deploy their servers inside the Amazon facility. Okay, well and good. But unfortunately, it's a public cloud, which means that each and every server will be in communication with the another servers. So if you see the data center, as I already said you that, physically one server will have the connectivity to the another server. The server will communicate with this server, and the server will communicate with the server, and these two servers will communicate with each other, so that every server will have the communication. Every physical server will have the communication. So there might be a chance of communicating with the another server also. So the Zomato servers can communicate with the Swiggy servers also. So as per this diagram, there is a chance that this Zomato servers can communicate with the Swiggy servers, or Swiggy servers can communicate with the Zomato servers. So if at all this is happening, then it is a security threat. So it's a security threat. So I cannot go for this configuration. So what I have to do now? Now I have to deploy my servers in the public cloud, but still they should not communicate. So logically, what I am going to do, physically, I am not separating the servers. I am separating the servers logically, which means that I am going to configure a VPC. So the name itself indicates that what is meant by VPC. VPC means virtual private cloud, which means that virtually the VPC is a cloud service which is deployed in the public cloud, which is isolated and secured from one to another. So again, I am repeating, a VPC is a cloud service provided by the Amazon, which will be isolated and secured from one VPC to the another VPC, and which is deployed in the public cloud. So a VPC, a virtual private cloud, can be isolated with the another virtual private cloud. So one VPC will not communicate with the another VPC. Here VPC is nothing but a very big network where we can create multiple networking devices like servers, RDS, relational databases, storage, every configuration we can do inside the VPC. Again, I am repeating, inside the VPCs, only we can create the resources. Without the VPCs, we cannot create any resource. Here, VPC is nothing but a very big network. It's a logical network. Whenever we are creating the VPC will be elaborated, or else the VPC is created inside the region, which means that it will be expanded through all over the availability zones. What is the meaning of this? If you see here, now, this is my Amazon region. Just for example, just think that this is my Amazon region, that is US East 1. Just assume that this is the US East 1 region. Okay. Inside the US East 1 region, what I want, there will be so many availability zones. There are 6 availability zones that are there in the US East 1 region, but as per our convenience, what I am going to do here is I am going to make 3 availability zones. This is availability zone 1. This is availability zone 2. This is availability zone 3. Like this, I am having 3 availability zones. These are the 3 availability zones which I am having. Among the 3 availability zones, let me name them as US-East-1A, and there will be one more availability zone 1B, and there will be one more availability zone as 1C. Like that, I am having 3 availability zones. This is well and good. Now, after I am having 3 availability zones, now Swiggy has came to me and asked me that I want some servers in your Amazon data center, some virtual servers in your Amazon data center. Whenever they are trying to create any server, if they create a account, if they created an account, so automatically they will get the access of the servers. So what Amazon will provide? Okay, I will provide you the servers. Now, what Swiggy has done, whenever came into the Amazon and created an VPC. This is the VPC, virtual private cloud. So automatically the VPC will be expanded all over the region. In the entire region, the VPC will be available. In the entire availability zones, I can have my VPC. This is the VPC. Which VPC it is? It is my Swiggy VPC. It is my Swiggy VPC. Let me do one thing. Swiggy icon. And the CIDR that I am going to provide here is 10.1.0.0/16. So that is the reason why I requested you to learn networking concept. Try to understand the networking concept. Why I'm asking this? Because of this reason only. So it is a private IP. So I already discussed about the private IPs and public IPs. Private IPs are the IPs which are created inside the organization, and public IPs are the IPs which are given for the internet configuration. So the private IP ranges are 10 series. So if I have to say, the private IP ranges are, private IPs are, here you are having 10.0.0.02, 10.255.255.255. This is one of the private IP, and the another private IP is 172.16.0.02, 172.31.255.255. This is the second one, and 192.168.0.02, 192.168.255.255. These are the 3 private IP address ranges. So whatever you want, you can configure. Whatever the range that you want, 172.16 to 172.31, this is one range, or else 10.0 to 10.255, like 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, like that you can go for 255 IP address specification. So here what I have done, I have specified a private IP. Why? Because it's a private virtual cloud. It's a virtual private cloud. So I'm going for the private IP configuration. And then what I'm going to do here is, After creation of this VPC, try to understand here very clearly. I have created the VPC. Whenever I create the VPC, the VPC will be expanded entire the region. Here the VPC is a logical network, not the physical network. Whatever you are doing here, it is completely logical. Just imagination. Just think that whenever you create the VPC will be expanded through the entire region, and it is only available for you only, for your instances, for the Swiggy instances only. No another computer or no another server from the another VPC will communicate with this VPC servers. So I have created the VPC, and the VPC will be expanded through the entire region. Now what I'm going to do here, let me go back and go to my VPC configuration. VPCs, create VPC. So here I'm going to create Swiggy-VPC. Swiggy-VPC. Okay. And the CIDR which I provided here is 10.1.0.0/16. This is the CIDR which I have created and create the VPC. Now the VPC has been created, and you need to enable the DNS hostnames, and I will tell you why we have to enable it anyways. After creation of the VPC, directly you cannot create the servers inside this VPC. So what you need to do, definitely inside the VPC, I need to create the subnets. What is meant by subnets? In the last class only I discussed about the subnets. Dividing a very big network into small networks is called as subnets. Now I am going to divide this VPC into small subnet. Let me divide that. This is subnet 1 in one availability zone. You can create the subnets in a single availability zone, or else you can create in the multiple availability zones also. Here I have created a subnet, and I am going to create one more subnet over there. This is subnet 2, and this is subnet 3. If you want, you can create 3 subnets. So what is the names that I'm going to specify here is Swiggy-subnet 1, Swiggy-subnet -1, and the CIDR that I'm going to provide is 10.1.1.0/24. This is the CIDR block which I am providing for this subnet. Okay. Now I have to configure another subnet. If you want, you can configure the another subnet also. Here I'm going to configure the second subnet. This is my Swiggy 2. Swiggy-subnet 2, and the subnet CIDR is 10.1.2.0. This is the CIDR for the subnet 2. Okay. And here also you can create one more subnet. This is Swiggy subnet 3, 10.1.3.0 subnet-3. Like this, I am going to configure 3 different subnets. Okay. So let us go back and configure the 3 different subnets. How we have to configure them? Let me show you that. So I will go back here. Subnets. Create the subnet. Swiggy VPC. In Swiggy VPC, I have to create the subnet. The subnet name is Swiggy-subnet-1, and the availability zone is US East 2A. Okay, that's fine. And the CIDR that I'm going to provide is 10.1.1.0/60/24. This is the CIDR that I am going to create for subnet 1. And the next subnet which I am going to create is another subnet, that is my inside the Swiggy VPC. I want to create a subnet, that is here. What I will do here is subnet 2, and the CIDR here is 10.1.2.0/24. This is the subnet 2, and create the subnet. Second subnet has been created. If you want to create the another subnet, you can create the another subnet. But here there is a problem. Here I did not select the availability zone. Let me do one thing. Here actually, if you want to select the availability zone, you can select the availability zone. But defaultly, what is going to happen? Amazon itself will select an availability zone. So I will delete this as I did not select the availability zone. I will delete the subnet, and I try to recreate the subnet again. Create the subnet, Swiggy VPC, and the subnet is Swiggy VPC2, and availability zone will be 2B, and here the subnet ID is 10.1.2.0/24. Create the subnet. Second subnet has been created in US East 2B, and I am going to create one more subnet, that is Swiggy VPC. Here I am going to give the name as subnet 3, and availability zone will be US East 2C, and the CIDR is 10.1.3.0/24. So again, I will create the subnet. What are these slash values? Already we discussed in the last class, /16/24/8, like that. So don't get confused between the slash values. So now we have configured the subnets here. And then what I need to do? If any resource that is creating inside the subnet, so where is my VPC located? Obviously, now my VPC is located in Ohio region, that is in US region. And whatever the servers that I am deploying, all the servers are deployed in the US region only. Now I am residing in Hyderabad. From Hyderabad, I want to communicate with the US. So can anybody tell me how can I communicate from Hyderabad to US? Again, I am repeating. My laptop or else my desktop is in Indian region, or else I am residing in India, and I deployed my server in US region, that too in Ohio region. I deployed my server. From India to US, I want to make the communication between the resources. How can I make the communication between the resources? Through internet, how can I make the communication? That's my question. Through IP address. Which type of IP address? I gave you the scenario. So which type of IP address I require to make the communication? IPv4, that's okay. But which type of IPv4? I need to communicate through internet. If I want to make the communication through the internet, then definitely I need to have the public IP. So I need to have a public IP for my resources. So what are the resources that are creating inside this region? What are the resources that are created inside the subnet? All the resources should get the public IPv4. So for that, what I want to do here is, let me select an subnet. I will go with Swiggy subnet 1. What I am going to do here is actions, edit subnet settings, auto assign public IPv4 address. What it is saying, enable the auto assign IP settings to automatically request a public IPv4 address for a new network interface in the subnet. Whatever the resources that are creating in this subnet, those resources will get the automatic public IP, so that you can communicate with the resources through the internet. So if you want to communicate through the internet, definitely you need to have a public IP. So for that reason, I enable my IP address settings. Let me save this. After that, I will go to the internet gateway. So what is this internet gateway? The name itself indicating the gateway. What is meant by gateway? What is meant by gate or else gateway? What did you understand from the term called as gateway? Yes, you can provide your replies. What did you understand from the term called as gateway? Tell me guys, what did you understand from the term called as gateway? A gateway is an entry and exit point for a VPC. Simply, if I had to say, what are the subnets, their total subnets and total number of servers that has been created inside the VPC. Every data from the VPC can be going out through your gateway, and every data that is entering into your VPC can be come through the gateway only. So gateway is an entry and exit point for your VPC. Just simple as like that. So first of all, what I'm doing, I'm going to create a gateway and I will assign the gateway to my VPC. So I can call this gateway as, this is my Swiggy-IGW. This is the gateway which I am creating. This is the internet gateway which I am going to create for my Swiggy VPC. Let us go back and create the internet gateway, so that what it is going to happen, my gateway will be allowing the data to enter and to exit. Create internet gateway, and this is my Swiggy-IGW. Create the internet gateway. Once the internet gateway has been created, now everything is done, but here we need to specify the route. So how the data has to come out of the VPC and how data has to get into the VPC. For that, I need to specify the route over here. So if at all, if somebody in the internet want to access my data, so I am the client who is residing in the internet. So I am connected to the internet and I want to access the data that is provided by my servers that are created in the Swiggy VPC. Whatever the servers that are created in the Swiggy VPC, I want to communicate with the servers and I want to get the data from the Swiggy VPC. So how can I do that? So obviously I need to say to the Swiggy VPC that if you want to send any data from your servers, now what I will do, I will install a server inside this subnet. I will install a server inside this subnet. For example, I am installing a server like this. This is the server which I have deployed inside the subnet. Now I have to say to the Swiggy that Swiggy VPC, if you want to transmit the data from your server to the internet, if you want to transmit the data from the internet, then definitely you need to go through the internet gateway only. From the internet gateway, you can transmit the data to the internet, and from the internet, the client can access. So I have to say to the Swiggy VPC that if you want to transmit any data into the internet, then definitely the data has to pass through the internet gateway. So what I will do, I have to make that connection for the internet gateway to the internet. So internet means all over the world. Anybody can access the data from anywhere. So all over the world it will come. Okay. So this is how I am going to make the connection. So I need to specify the route. So the route is, let me go to the routing table. So with the VPC, automatically a routing table will be created. This is the routing table for your Swiggy VPC. So Swiggy hyphen route. So I'm going to configure the Swiggy route. So the routes will be, I am saying to the Swiggy VPC that the destination is internet. So internet means anybody and anywhere. Anybody and anywhere, in the sense you need to provide the IP address as 0.0.0.0/0. So if you want to communicate, I'm saying it to my VPC. I'm saying that I'm specifying this route to my VPC that if you want to communicate into the internet, then you have to go to the internet gateway. So the internet gateway will be, so it is not attached. So just in a second. You see here, I have created the internet gateway and I did not attach it to my VPC. Select the internet gateway and attach to my VPC. Which VPC I need to attach? Obviously, I need to attach it to the Swiggy VPC. Attach the internet gateway. And then now go to the routing table. In the routing table, I need to specify the route as routes, edit routes, add route. I'm specifying that anywhere and any IP. Then you need to go to the internet gateway. So this is the Swiggy-IGW and save the changes. Now I have specified the route also, so that anybody can access my Swiggy VPC. Anybody can access my data inside the Swiggy VPC. That's well and good. But which type of data? You have to give the security groups like this. We will discuss about the security groups in the security group concept. But as of now, just to follow the configuration which I have done. So this is my Swiggy hyphen security. Now I am going for the inbound rules. What is meant by inbound rules? Whatever the traffic that is getting entered into my VPC, whatever the traffic that is entering into my VPC, that is called as an inbound. Inbound means incoming. So I am saying that any traffic that is coming from anywhere, you need to allow that. all traffic, any data, either it might be a website data, or else it might be SSH data, or else it might be an ICMP data, any sort of data, if it is trying to enter into the VPC, then with the security groups, I am specifying that you need to allow all traffic from anywhere. So I'm just giving this and save the rules. Now everything has been configured. Now if you see here, what are in the diagram? I have configured the VPC. Inside the VPC, I have configured the subnet, and for the VPC, I attached the internet gateway, and I specified the route to communicate with the internet. And then I have allowed the security groups to enter all sort of data. So this is how you are going to create your VPC. Is there any doubts here, guys? For creation of VPC, is there any doubts? Any doubts in the creation of VPC? So this is how we are going to create the VPC. In the same manner, you can also create the VPC. Try to create a VPC and don't deploy any servers. Tomorrow we will deploy the servers and we will make the peering connection. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next session and discuss about the remaining concepts regarding VPC peering, and then creation of the instances and creation of key pair on all the concepts in the next class. So that is tomorrow. Tomorrow you are having class at 10:30, guys. So don't miss tomorrow's class. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Bye. Is there any queries that you want to ask me? You can ask me right now.
Hey Chaitanya, this is Sindhu.
Yeah.
I just have a query. I'm from Python background actually. So
Okay.
I just want to move it to AWS because our company is mostly into cloud side. So will it be, I mean, what are all the, I mean, that which you are going to be covered here in AWS?
Here, this will be purely infrastructure related concepts that I'm going to cover, like VPC
Okay.
configuration, EC2 instances configurations, and then I'm going only with the configuration that is related to the server basic. Okay, administration level, cloud administration.
Okay, I think you will be not covering here in Lambda or Glue, Athena, I think, guys, right?
Athena is not there, but I will cover the Lambda. Lambda is, so I can cover Lambda, but Glue, it's an ETL concept.
Yeah, so yeah, because it's a analytics side, we need Athena, Lambda,
Yeah,
EMREC2
yes.
instances.
Microservices and all the things will be
Yeah,
coming under the this analytics side, but
analytics
here
side.
it is
Oh,
completely administration part of the answer.
okay, okay, got you, Chaitanya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, I am having one doubt.
Yes, tell me.
Not regarding this, sir, but sir, how we join daily, sir? Because I'm registering daily and joining, sir, because I paid the fees also.
Yeah, from Monday onwards, you will have the link at 8:30. You can join directly. Okay, don't worry about that.
Okay, sir.
You will have
Thank
a permanent link from Monday onwards, and you don't worry about the joining purpose. So that's okay. I will talk to the management. They will provide a permanent link for you. Okay.
you. Sir.
Any another queries? Fine, guys. We'll meet in the next session.
Hi, Chaitanya.
Hi.
Yeah. Do we have any like agenda, like what all the topics we'll cover in this course?
Actually, you can go through the website. In the website, I have clearly mentioned the course that we are going to cover. The curriculum is available over here. You can see that. There you go. Here you are having the complete topics that we are going to cover.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, guys. Any queries further regarding the subject or else regarding anything? You can ask me the questions. Okay. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. We'll meet in the next session. tomorrow you are having the session at 10:30 a.m. guys, as tomorrow is a Saturday. Only tomorrow you are having the session on Saturday, but actually the session will be continuing from Monday to Friday. The sessions every day, the session will be at 8:30 a.m. Monday to Friday. Okay, so that's all for today. Bye.